Welcome to the Craft of Coaching podcast, where we dive into what it truly takes to become a skilled, confident life coach. I'm your host, Kate, head of the CLCC, or Certified Life Coach Collective, an ICF-Accredited Level 1 coach training program. We combine courage, coaching, and community to offer you more than just a training program, but a life-changing experience where you use your own personal transformation as the learning ground for supporting your clients. On this podcast, we explore how you can use coaching skills to support your clients or expand your own growth, all grounded in evidence-based coaching practices. Learn more about our program and get free resources for becoming a life coach at teamclcc.com. And now, here's today's episode. Welcome back, everybody. Today's episode is going to be all about how coaches make money, but it might not be what you think. This is actually not going to be an episode with a bunch of marketing tips. If you are already a coach and you're looking for marketing tips, marketing strategies, you can head over to coachingblueprintprogram.com. That is where I have a program that I offer. I created a digital marketing program called the Coaching Blueprint. It was created many years ago. I update it regularly. And it actually includes not only how-tos for how to market your coaching practice, but it also includes interviews with established coaches who built their businesses from the ground up, just like I did. So no inflated claims of six-figure success without the earnings to back it up, which unfortunately happens too often in the coaching industry. And by the way, the Coaching Blueprint is included with the marketing training for everyone who enrolls in the CLCC or Certified Life Coach Credential program. And of course, you can find out more about CLCC at leadershipcoachtraining.com. So if today's episode is not about marketing strategies, what is it about? I see this podcast, this Craft of Coaching podcast, as being largely targeted, or the audience for this podcast as being people who are largely thinking about becoming a coach, who maybe have dabbled in a coach training program, who have some coaching experience and want a little bit more. They haven't fully committed yet. This is for the people who are going, is this something I could do? And if you are contemplating the path of coaching and unsure about your next steps, and especially the money piece, this episode is for you. When I talk about how coaches make money, I want to give you an idea of the landscape of how these pieces actually come together. Big picture. Again, marketing resources, we include those in the Certified Life Coach Credential or CLCC program. It's an ongoing conversation that we have. Sometimes when people apply to our program, they say things like, I'm in debt. I'm passionate about coaching. I'd like to join your program, work hard, and you know what? I'm going to pull myself out of debt within a year. And as director of the program, I love the enthusiasm. That's how I started as a coach too. I had no idea I'd end up where I am, but I had vision. I was very clear. I'm going to work hard and it will become something. However, how long it takes tends to surprise people. And I can't blame you that it gets surprising, because there's a bajillion marketing programs out there that are claiming that if you just follow their 1, 2, 3 step plan, you will be a millionaire in a month. And if it seems a little too good to be true, I hope you have a healthy dose of skepticism about those claims. Now, I do get asked a lot, how long before I as a coach am making consistent money? And I will answer that today. But first, let's get into this question. Why do coaches charge what they charge? Let's say that a coach charges $100 an hour, 1 hour session. That might sound like a lot. You might be thinking to yourself, holy smokes, this coaching thing's going to be great. If I get 20 clients at $100 an hour, then I'm only working 20 hours a week and I'm going to be making some good money. But there's more to it. That $100 an hour that you're charging for the actual coaching session has to also factor in that you are going to need to do some level of marketing, some level of admin tasks, scheduling, branding, everything else that coaches are needing to handle on their own. It's really great that as a coach, you are not going to have a lot of upfront business costs, but there are going to be some areas where you have to spend your time. And unlike a therapist working in a healthcare system, coaches typically don't have insurance companies with built-in referral systems or admin support. And of course, there are therapists who would be hearing this right now and going, yeah, Kate, even I don't have those things, and I'm a therapist. So that $100 an hour rate, or whatever rate you are charging per session as a coach, needs to support all of that. It needs to account for the fact that your business will ebb and flow. Just like a house painter who only paints in certain seasons, you're going to have to charge a rate that anticipates that there will be slow periods. And I get it. That sounds intimidating, which is why we tell people in our coach training program, make your transition to coaching sustainable and organic. And I got to tell you, I learned this the hard way. Me, myself, and I, even though I am where I am now, and I always feel weird about saying I've had a lot of success. I've had some great things happen. I've had a full practice. I make 6 figures, all the things. Even though I am where I am now, I learned the hard way that the transition needs to be sustainable and organic, because I myself tried jumping into coaching all at once. I myself quit my job thinking if I build it, they will come. I thought that all I had to do was just work hard enough. And I got to tell you, I did work hard. But if you build it, they will come did not work, at least not for me. If I could do my own entry into the coaching profession over again, I would ease in. I would keep the day job, and I would build my business at a sane and sustainable pace rather than what I did, which was work way too hard, crash out a bit, had to go back to the salaried job, and then start building sustainably and organically. Now, recently, I actually spoke with someone facing that very decision. And as we were talking, one of the suggestions I gave to her was to reframe the salaried job as being almost like venture capital funding for your business that you never have to pay back. This is the investment in your business. Your day job is paying for your dream job. And that mindset really, really helped me when I got there. As someone who did eventually end up transitioning gradually, I can say it is so much easier that way. You build experience and financial security. I know one of our program graduates who was a former nurse became a full-time coach while she was still a nurse working with people in addiction recovery. And she did it without the stress of debt. That's huge. I like to tell people there's just no shame in keeping your health insurance and paying your bills. And I know that there's this mindset online, very popular with the bro podcasters, that's like, plan B is for losers, burn the ships. I reject that. And I've supported a lot of coaches in getting to sustainably supporting themselves. There's honor in building your dream without burnout and with the added addition of financial stress. So if you are saying to yourself, I want to become a coach, but I cannot necessarily quit my job right now to become a coach, you're normal. And in fact, I think that's the better path. Now, how long before you make consistent income? I actually put out a survey of all of my newsletter subscribers and all of our program graduates, thousands of people. And the survey results were very, very clear. It takes about 18 to 24 months of consistent marketing. Now, you might think 18 to 24 months, oh my gosh, of consistent marketing, and you might be getting this picture as if you have to work 40 hours a week at it. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying 40 hours a week for 18 to 24 months before you're going to see consistent income. I'm saying you have to be consistent with your marketing, meaning you're putting something out there in whatever way you're planning to do it. There are a lot of ways to do it. coachingblueprintprogram.com. You'll see a lot of ways there. You'll learn a lot of ways in our program. There's a lot of ways to market your business. So you just have to be consistent about it. You have to speak to the problems that you help solve and the solutions that you offer in some small way consistently. What I sometimes see when coaches overshoot it a bit is that they'll hustle for like 3 to 6 months straight, maybe a year. They're very excited about coaching and they just go all in and they hustle. And then when they're not making lots of money right away for all the work they're putting out, they think, this must be a sign. I'm not meant for this. But here's the thing. It's not true. It's not about how hard you hustle, and it's not about some sign from the universe if you don't get these immediate rewards. The consistency is a huge part of how people grow what they do. I like to use the image of a wheel. Imagine that there's a wheel on a spoke. You need to push the wheel to get it moving. And you probably got to do a lot of big pushes to really get that wheel turning on the spoke. And once it's turning, you can keep that wheel going with smaller, regular nudges. But if you let the momentum of that wheel stop completely, you have to start all over. So that's why the consistency is so important. You don't have to work 40 hours a week at this. I take breaks. I pre-schedule content. I am not constantly online. I plan for downtime. I take most of December and early January off from my business. I take time off during the summers too. I spend time with my family. I go to yoga. I write fiction. And I can do that because I maintain a consistent momentum with those small pushes. So that's really what I want for you. If you're just starting out as a coach, I want you to invest the time, build your rhythm, and create a business where you don't wake up to an alarm clock and a commute. You're doing work that lights you up. You're doing work that contributes and gives back to the world in some way by supporting other people. And it feels good, and you're in charge of your own schedule. You just have to be prepared for the fact that it might not happen right away. Now, I know there are a lot of other coach training programs out there that are going to tell you it could happen right away if you just train with us. Hey, if it sounds too good to be true, apply a healthy level of discernment. Okay, I'm giving you the real here. Now, let's actually tie this together, and I'll tell you why some coaches don't make money, and the biggest reason is inconsistency. You have to understand a little bit every week adds up. A little bit of social media, some content creation, some engagement with anyone who follows you, some newsletters. A little bit adds up. The next reason why people might not be making money, though, is how do you talk about the problems you solve? Do you know how to do that? So a coach training program that is giving you training in the coaching skill set, very important. That's, of course, what we do at CLCC. Also, though, are you being given marketing resources? Because that is something we do at CLCC that a lot of other programs are going to charge you more for. We teach in our program how to talk about the real issues that clients face and the outcomes that they want, talking to them like they're human, nothing slickster. Thinking about how you talk about what you do, it's important to keep in mind that if your messaging is vague or if it's flashy in a way that doesn't feel relatable, things like, let's bring the sparkle and rainbows into your life, it can be a little harder for people to connect with. People don't usually walk around in their lives saying, you know what, I feel like I want more rainbows and sparkle. Sometimes people do. I love those people. But typically they don't. Typically what they say are things like, my job is slowly grinding me down. Or I think I'm heading into perimenopause and I'm not sure. Or my marriage isn't working. So when you talk about what you do as a coach, make sure that you are talking in the language of the clients you're trying to reach. In fact, I'm going to even go another step further. I don't really believe in elevator pitches. And if that is surprising to you, let me tell you why. They feel awkward and inauthentic. Okay? Like, come on. Like, who feels really truly themselves with an elevator pitch that's like, I help high-achieving people who are stuck in the hustle and grind find their sparkle, reclaim their soul. Like, it just feels too weird. You want to talk in the language that your clients are going to use. Usually if someone asks, oh, you're a coach? Oh, what do you do? I'll say something along the lines of, you know, a lot of my work is centered around helping people to identify self-limiting beliefs and fears that keep them from going after what they really want. Easy, clear, natural, not like I'm trying to hustle you or use this like weird language that just doesn't even make sense. So in the CLCC program, we're about helping people learn how to identify client pain points, clearly articulate their services, find a marketing path that feels good. Those are the marketing resources that we're going to be giving you. And you can market in a lot of ways, whether it's writing, audio, video, photography. Your creative passions can become your business model. You don't need to be everywhere online. You just need to show up consistently somewhere. And that is the key. I have been at this since 2006. And that's the one thing that always holds true. TikTok had not been invented yet in 2006. A lot of these social media platforms that have come and gone, they didn't exist when I started. But the one thing that has been true is you need to know how to talk about what you do in a way that's natural and authentic, and you need to be consistent. Some people online are going to promise that they've got the secret sauce. I'm going to give you the 3 keys, all that stuff. But the truth is that if those things are not aligned with who you are and how you want to show up, it's not going to work anyway. So, how are coaches making money? The simplest way to say it is that they find a model for marketing themselves that feels like an expression of who they are. They talk clearly about the problems that they solve. And from there, they find vehicles for offering those solutions to those problems. You can offer retreats. You can offer group programs, e-courses, one-on-one sessions, collaborations with other coaches, and more. I personally coach clients one-on-one. I sell digital programs like the Coaching Blueprint program that I've mentioned. I am a speaker. I do organizational development work. And of course, I run the Certified Life Coach Credential program. I teach. I do course design. I write books. My first book is coming out in 2018. It's called The Courage Habit. I'm so excited about it. And really, that's how my business has grown, by following what would be fun. I've met coaches who tour the country in RVs, meeting people and holding these like little spot workshops. There are so many ways to do this that are so fun. And 10 years ago, when I started all this, I was stuck in a job I was scared to leave. And here's the thing. I clung to that job for a really long time because I was afraid of not having that income. And I mentioned, like I said, I tried the thing of jumping in too quickly and quitting my job. I ended up going back to the same job, and they took me back, which was good because I needed to build my business. But for all that security that I was chasing, guess what happened? Eventually, that organization nearly shut down. They had to do a bunch of layoffs. So I am so thankful that I had something else growing on the side, because when things got bad, I could walk away, and that side business became my safety net. And of course, now the side business is my full-on life. So if you're asking how life coaches make money, it's going to be clarity of message and consistency. You can market however you want. You have a lot of choices, and they're fun ones that involve creativity, but do it consistently. Find a method you enjoy, stick with it, and you will build a business that you love. All right, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Before you go, would you help us out and take a moment to give us a rating in iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening? It really helps us get the word out to other listeners. And before you go today, would you like free resources to support your coaching journey? Whether you're considering becoming a coach or you want advanced coach skills training, access our coaching resource library at teamclcc.com. Again, that's teamclcc.com. Can't wait to connect with you. And again, thanks for listening.